All right, so I'm going to beat this drum for the next 3 months. What Democrats just did and are doing is by definition an insurrection. From Britannica, actually, quote, insurrection, an organized and usually violent act of revolt or rebellion against an established government or governing authority of nation, state, or other political entity by a group of its citizens or subjects. Democrats accused Republicans of an insurrection for a bunch of police directing them into the Capitol building, and a few stupid people put their feet on a desk and one stole a podium, and Democrats called that an insurrection. And I'm sitting here scratching my head wondering, how is a bunch of unarmed people being led into the Capitol by police an insurrection with almost no contact with lawmakers? And it was considered such to an extent that over 1,000 people were thrown in jail. But what Democrats are doing right now is not an actual insurrection? I mean, come on. At a minimum, it's a coup, defined by Merriam-Webster as, quote, a sudden decisive exercise of force in politics and especially the violent overthrow or alteration of an existing government by a small group. Like a small group of, I don't know, Obama and friends maybe? Either way, what the Democrats have done is overthrow the duly elected government, which under U.S. Code 182385, quote, whoever knowingly or willfully advocates, abets, advises, or proprietary of overthrowing or destroying the government of the United States with the intent to cause the overthrow or destruction of any such government, prints, publishes, edits, issues, circulates, sells, distributes, or publicly displays any written or printed matter advocating. I mean, basically every left-wing news network has been advocating and printing. This can be done by force or otherwise. I mean, can we get a prosecutor or an AG or someone to look into this ASAP, please? Because under U.S. Code 182383, quote, whoever incites, sets on foot, assists, engages in any rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States or laws thereof, or gives aid or comfort thereto, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years and or both, and shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. It goes on to say, or have effectively deprived citizens of their rights under the U.S. Constitution. Yeah, they did that. 14.5 million Democrat ballots just got thrown out. 0 of those votes will count because a small circle of Democrats had this plan from day one. Lock these people up. Write your AGs and tell them to bring this case stat. They did this, folks. Democrats did this. This is not an opinion. This is a fact. A small group of people, they propped up Joe Biden for like 3 years. They ran him as the candidate who got the votes to be the nominee for the Democrats. And then they ran a shadow government when it became obvious that this was happening. They then threw that duly elected candidate out on the street. They did that. This is not up for debate. This is a fact. And if he was not capable then, they should have taken the legal options via the 25th Amendment, but they didn't. They didn't do that. These people think that they run the world, and they act with just absolute impunity. You see why I think voter ID and other measures are so critical? If these people were willing to literally overthrow a government of their own party, what length would they go to ensure they keep power in November? You picking up what I'm putting down here? I sure hope so. They are doing it right in front of our faces, and no one is screaming about it. No one's charging them, no one's doing anything. But it's not nearly as scary as what's about to happen and how they are going to do it. Folks, listen carefully so you know the signs. They are going to hit up every pop culture icon, every social media influencer, every powerful person, and every media network, and they are going to run a psyops and social engineering campaign against we the people. What do you think that $100 million Kamala just raised in 24 hours is going to? If you doubt me, here's the proof. George Clooney, totally in the tank for Joe Biden, raises a bunch of money on stage, blah, 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 turns on a dime when he's told to, and says, wait, Joe can't do this. And then 3 weeks later, came out with the same vigor for Kamala Harris, just as he did for Biden, because he was told to. 2 reasons why they, the powers that be on the left, are able to do what they're doing right now. 1, they have dirt on everyone. In Hollywood, many people don't climb the ladder on their own. They need help. So those favors got to get paid back somehow. By the way, a lot of the dirt they have on people likely revolves around things like being friends or on the airplane with Jeffrey Epstein. Don't think we forgot about that one. And 2, There are some people in Hollywood that are useful idiots and actually believe in liberal policies, albeit they are in the super minority of the rich and famous Democrat supporters. The next 100 days will be a coordinated attack on you and I. Folks, do not doubt me on this one. The U.S. government literally trained me when I was a SEAL to run information campaigns in other countries through a systematic leak of information to the public through reputationally credible sources. We do this as a government to tons of other countries. Hell, it was right in front of us. It was Hillary's entire campaign, in fact. Don't tell me it doesn't happen. Hillary Clinton hired a firm who hired a guy to come up with a totally BS narrative called the Steele dossier. They funneled it into major media networks as a fact, as if it was verified, then took those multiple media reports from the same source and used them as a verifiable source to open a $50 million taxpayer dollar funded investigation against Donald Trump, Hillary's opponent. Had a congressman like Adam Schiff. He went on TV and said, I have seen classified information of Trump-Russian collusion. It turned out to be nothing. They did it again in 2020 with Hunter Biden's laptop. Same exact playbook. They got 51 former intel officials to corroborate the BS narrative. And they had their lackeys in the media say it was the same thing. They swore up and down it was all Russian disinformation. And turns out they lied about all of it. But it didn't come out until after the election. And the damage was done. And 80% of people said the election would have gone differently had they known the truth before the election. And they're going to do it again with Kamala Harris. Know the warning signs. Look, good, rational people are no longer elected by Democrats. They don't elect free thinkers, and they don't elect and choose good people anymore. They don't even let them on the stage, i.e. RFK. They want obedient ideologues that they can install. And they carefully calculate that almost no matter what, 40% of America, for some reason or another, will always vote for whoever the Democrats choose. And all they have to do is run their PSYOPs campaign in less than 25 counties in America to convince a sliver of the population to tip the scales. Elections are an equation for them. It's not about offering better policies. This is about systematically lying to certain districts to get votes. But now these people, they are desperate, and I have no idea what they're going to do. If you live in these impactful counties, get out and work the polls, or this might be our last election.